Will Bustler won at Texas last week. Can he make it 2 in a row? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go racing. Up front will be Kevin Coleman and Mason Neal. On the front row, Will Bustler, Josh Mueller have the second row. Blake Mosley, Matt Stewart on the third. Mike Killenbeck and Eddie Baker have the fourth row. DJ, the Iceman Kenner, and Brian DeBoss Mansfield, the nickname row, have the fifth row. Philip York starts 11th. Superman Norman Chan in 12th. 13th is Zach Burgesson. Brendan McLaughlin is 14th. Drew Warren in 15th. Tyler Robertson 16th. 17th is Spencer Brown. Matt Hudson 18th. And Scott Hobbs in 19th. Here they go, rolling off the front straightaway. The Ford can't get started. Yeah. Looks like Philip York having some issues. But there you go, Russellworth. That, yeah. He's still sitting there. Now he's rolling. Somebody had to go out and push. Pace car will drop off out of turn 4, and then we will go racing from Charlotte. 110 laps, 2 additional sets of tires. They're going to need them. 80% fuel load, fuel and tire strategy will come into play tonight. Pace car is in. There's Barney the flag man. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away at Charlotte. Kind of forgot to turn my speakers down. Kevin Coleman out front. Mason Neal now up to second. Bustler in third. The top 10 still lined up as they started. Zachary Burgesson already up a couple spots, as is Drew Warren and Spencer Brown. Matthew Hudson is started from pit road. Will Bustler now making his way up to second. What happened with Mueller? Mueller's car way out of shape through 1 and 2. He manages to hold on to it. Mason Neal now back to 4th. Blake Mosley 5th. Matt Stewart in 6th. And Killenbeck's starting to look a little aggressive here early, trying to get the nose under Stewart. They're side by side behind as Eddie Baker comes forward. Scott Hobbs has crashed. Caution is out. Scott did try to tow the car to pit road before the caution came out. Let's see if we can find where this might have started. Looks, if I had to guess, he got loose off turn 2. Let's see what the cameraman caught. He got loose in the middle of 1 and 2. Got down on the apron, almost saved it. Gets back up on the banking, though, and loses it there. Can't get it stopped. It comes up the track. Do not expect to see anybody on pit road under this caution. I stand correct. Kevin Coleman and Will Bustler try and fake the pit road. I don't think anybody behind believed them. Might see a couple of guys from the back drop in and top off on fuel. Looks like a couple of them were thinking about it, but nobody took the opportunity. Eddie Baker back there in 8th. Looked like he was starting to crank it up. Let's see if we can get a word. Hey, Eddie, it's Doug. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Hey, man, it looked like you were really starting to get some momentum there. Once this thing goes green, are you going to be able to charge toward the front?
I'm kind of hoping so. I mean, last time we were in an Xfinity car at this track, I ended up winning the thing with a heated battle with Burkhardt. So I'm hoping I can find some of that luck again and bring it back. But car seems a little tight early in the run and then starts to come in a little bit. So if we could just keep the long green flag run, I might have something.
It did look like you were starting to make a move to the outside there right before the caution came out. Is that your best line running up top?
Yeah, I think the top side's going to be a little easier for me. Get a good run off the corner, right down the straightaways. But it'll probably change once the track gets a little warmer and rubber lays down and whatnot. Maybe we'll switch to the bottom. We'll see. Wherever there's not another car, that's where we're going to be.
All right, man. Good luck on your charge to the front, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Good luck.
All right, Eddie Baker in the 29, currently running in 8th. Kevin Coleman, everybody's starting to stack back up for the restart. It'll be Kevin Coleman and Will Bustler on the front row. Mason Neal, Josh Mueller of the second row. Matt Stewart and Blake Mosley on the third row. Mike Killenbeck, Eddie Baker on the fourth row. DJ Kenner and Brian Mansfield rounding out the top 10. Zachary Burgess in 11th. Superman Norman Chan in 12th. Brandon McLaughlin 13th. 14th is Drew Warren. Tyler Robertson in 15th. And Spencer Brown, Matthew Hudson, and Philip York rounding out the field. Philip York did make a quick pit stop. Actually, it shows he went down pit road, but as the field stacks back up side by side through 3 and 4. Pace car is in. Barney gets the flag in hand. Green flag back in the air. They are down and away into turn number 1. Look at this battle mid-pack as Eddie Baker jumps to the high side behind Matt Stewart. Eddie Baker now up to 7th, all over the back bumper, but Kevin Coleman still holds the lead. And starting to open up a little bit of a gap. He's got almost half a second on Bustler. Mason Neal, Josh Mueller, and look at this, Blake Mosley up top, trying to get a run off 2. And it looks like Superman is starting to try and make his way forward. He's lost a spot to Tyler Robertson, but it looked like he had a bit of a run. Robertson already up 4 spots to 12th. Make that 5 as he comes by Zachary Burgesson. Will Bustler now in 2nd. Mason Neal in 3rd. Josh Mueller in 4th. Blake Mosley now in 5th, but that's Eddie Baker making a move under Matt Stewart into 3 and 4. Now it's Eddie Baker up to 6th. Matt Stewart back to 7th. Killenbeck in 8th. Killenbeck has DJ Kenner all over the back bumper. Brian Mansfield now up in 10th. Look for Brian to start coming on later in the run. Tyler Robertson now in 11th. Trying to get the nose under Mansfield. Can't get there yet. Coleman's lead now 0.6 of a second. Bustler is losing ground. Mason Neal in third, starting to close in on Bustler, but look at Mueller. Saw him have some issues that first couple of laps. Looks like, doesn't look like he's extraordinarily steady in the car right now. 11 laps in, the tires should be warm. You got to wonder if his steering ratio might be off just a little bit, causing him to wiggle around more than he'd like. Eddie Baker now up to 6, right behind Blake Mosley. Matt Stewart in 7th. 8th is Mike Killenbeck. Tyler Robertson has now cracked the top 10. He got the run and finally gets by Mansfield. Trying to run down DJ Kenner in 9th. Kenner starting to close the gap on Killenbeck now. Oh, Kenner looks down to the low side. Can he get the nose in before they get to turn 1? Doesn't look like it. And now Mason Neal starting to look for second place. He was looking low through 1 and 2. Back behind, Mueller and Mosley are going side by side. Mosley tried to get a run on the bottom. Now Eddie Baker's going to take advantage. He gets up to the high side. He's going to try and take 5th here. Gets the run off of turn 4. Now Eddie Baker up to 5th. Meanwhile, Tyler Robertson's march toward the front continues as he comes past DJ Kenner. Mike Killenbeck so far has managed to hold on to 8th most of the race, but I think he's about to be a little overwhelmed here with Robertson and Kenner. Kevin Coleman's lead continues to grow. Will Bustler now has Mason Neal all over the back bumper. We've seen Mason try and make a move a couple of different times. Hasn't been able to get there yet. Looks like Mueller might have steadied that car up just a little bit, and Mueller might be, no, he is not looking low yet on Mason Neal. Hey, thanks, Ryan. Hey, and thanks for the stars, buddy. Yeah, the last week has been a bit of a nightmare. A little bit of snow in the south, everything breaks. Kevin Coleman still out front, but the gap is starting to close now. He has not been challenged yet, but Bustler just knocked 0.2 of a second off his lead on the last lap and a half, probably because Mason Neal all over the back bumper looking for a way to get past. Yeah. It was funny because in the middle of this broadcast last week is when the ice started hitting. I heard it hitting the window, and within 5 minutes of it hitting the window, the internet just started going spotty. Eddie Baker now up in 5th, but Blake Mosley and Matt Stewart have not let him pull away. Josh Mueller, who was challenging Mason Neal just a little bit ago, Josh Mueller losing touch with the top 3, and it looks like Eddie Baker is closing in, but now Mosley looks down to the bottom. And it looks like Stewart might take advantage of this. Oh, Eddie's in the wall. Looks like he just kissed it a little bit. Just gave it a little peck, but it was enough to let Matt Stewart and Blake Mosley back by. Meanwhile, Mason Neal trying to get past Bustler here. Can he clear him out of 2? It's going to be close. No, he can't clear. Bustler back on the high side. Side by side through 3 and 4, the Highline has the advantage off the corner, but Mason apparently has not heard that before. He is not giving an inch. Can't find enough room to go up and stop the run by Bustler yet. Mason having to stay on the bottom. Bustler way up by the wall through 1 and 2. And Mason finally fully clears, jumps back up to the high line. And while they were doing that, they also managed to run down Kevin Coleman. I'm thinking Kevin might have used up a little too much tire a little too early. Now Mason Neal looks to the high side. Kevin Coleman stuck down on the bottom here. Mueller is caught back up too. Mason Neal drops back down. Gives a little bit of a drafting help to Kevin Coleman. Bustler comes by on the high side though. Kevin Coleman is not giving an inch here. Off into turn 1, Coleman sends it in and trying to hold Bustler off. Bustler definitely has the advantage. Off turn 2, Bustler clears into second. And now Mueller is caught up to Coleman, as have Blake Mosley and Matt Stewart. Eddie Baker has drifted back to 7th now. And Tyler Robertson gets a little love tap there from DJ Kenner, it looked like. Oh, wow, right? That is a lot of snow in a very short time, buddy. I don't think we got more than about 8. And we got that 8 inches of snow in about 36 hours, so. Mason Neal now in the lead, trying to pull away from Bustler in second. Coleman in third. Mueller back in the fight in fourth. Matt Stewart and Blake Mosley continue to go at it for 5th and 6th. Eddie Baker had quite a charge toward the front earlier, but now it looks like he is falling back just a little bit. Mueller looked like he was having some problems early in the race, keeping the car going straight, even on the straightaway. He's figured it out, whatever the issue is, because he has started making a march toward the front. Mason Neal starting to pull away from Bustler now, but we saw Coleman do this earlier, and when Will was ready, he cranked it up, and Will Bustler ran him down. We'll see if Will can do it again here. Coleman in third, now Mueller in fourth. Matt Stewart, Blake Mosley, 5th and 6th. DJ Kenner is now... Oh, Eddie Baker's in the wall again. DJ Kenner now up to 7th. Brian DeBoss Mansfield now up to 8th. Eddie Baker back to 9th. And Tyler Robertson, who also had a big charge early in the race, had gotten as high as 7th. He is now back in 10th. Looks like he might take 9th from Eddie Baker here. Baker's car has a little bit of damage on the right side. He has kissed the wall ever so gently a couple of times now. I think Eddie Baker and the Safer Barrier are having a first date here tonight. Mason Neal's lead almost a half second over Bustler now, but Josh Mueller has started pulling away, and Kevin Coleman has not let very many cars get back by him since giving up the lead. He is now back into 4th, but Matt Stewart and Blake Mosley have not been able to find a way around Coleman yet. Matt looking low here. Can't get the momentum off into the turn yet. think Blake Mosley might just be riding around behind Matt Stewart. Stewart now has the run under Coleman into 3. Have not seen Mosley try and make an aggressive move the whole race. He has just followed Matt Stewart forward. Philip York has come to pit road. Actually, it looks like Philip York might have had an issue. York down to... I don't think he got loose. Was that a shortcut? I'm not real sure. Matt Stewart, Blake Mosley, Kevin Coleman still going at it. That is the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Right now, Matt Stewart in 4th. Now he's got to run down Mueller, who is 2 seconds ahead. Meanwhile, Mason Neal has extended his lead to 0.6 of a second over Will Bussler. Josh Mueller in 3rd. DJ Kenner now back into 10th. And it looked... DJ's got some heavy right rear damage. Don't know what happened to DJ, but he definitely... I think he smacked the wall out of the turn at some point. Heavy damage to the right rear. He is definitely looking to get to pit road as soon as possible. Drew Warren has started coming on late in the run. Started in 15th, now up into 9th. Tyler Robertson has also started coming back forward. He is now back in 8th after starting in 16th. Brian Mansfield started 10th. He is now up to 7th. Mason Neal now 3/4 of a second over Bussler. They have to stretch the tires as far as possible. They only have 2 additional sets. Tire strategy definitely was the key last week at Texas. Could be the key again here tonight. How soon will we see? DJ Kenner has come to pit road. It looks like he is going to be the first. With DJ coming to pit road, I would not expect any of these guys to stay out too many more laps. And Kenner now back up off pit road. But he is going to be substantially faster than the rest of the field. Mason Neal's fastest lap, 31.25. Last time by, 32.9. The top 3 within about 1.8 seconds of each other from 3rd to 4th is now over 3 seconds. Matt Stewart, Blake Mosley now up into 4th. Matt Stewart back to 5th. Kevin Coleman in 6th. Mansfield in 7th is continuing his charge forward, as is Tyler Robertson and Drew Warren. Both of these drivers came from 15th for Drew Warren, 16th for Tyler, now in 8th and 9th. Hey, thank you for the stars, Jeff. Mason Neal, though, continuing to lead and pull away. He has actually opened up a major gap now on Bussler. Just in the last few laps, he has really started pulling away. Lead now 2 seconds for Mason Neal. And Mueller comes by, and Zachary Burgesson and Will Bustler coming to pit road. Looks like green flag stops are truly underway now. We've got 2 drivers on pit road. One has already completed his pit stop. There is DJ Kenner, the first to complete his pit stop. And look at the run up on Eddie Baker. Holy cow. DJ had to get way out of the throttle just to not run over Eddie. Mason trying to stretch his tires as far as he can. Tyler Robertson comes to pit road. Josh Mueller still out. Blake Mosley still out. Matt Stewart still out. Matthew Hudson has come to pit road now as well. Mason Neal's lead now almost 3 seconds over Mueller. Tyler Robertson, Matthew Hudson, both on their way out. Will Bustler is already back out off of pit road. Mason continuing to stretch the tire and fuel run. Josh Mueller gives up second and comes to pit road. Blake Mosley now in second, Stewart to third. Kevin Coleman in fourth, and Brian Mansfield now up to fifth with Drew Warren in sixth. And look at how much faster Will Bustler is right now. As he runs up on... Oh, he is about to get stuck behind a mess here. Easily gets by Coleman. Couple of close calls there. The difference between old tires and fresh tires can cause things to get a little dicey. Will Bustler, oh, Spencer Brown, a little wiggle. Mason Neal comes around to lap him for the first time. Matt Stewart and Brian Mansfield, Drew Warren, all coming to pit road. I'm not sure how much further some of these guys can run unless they're planning on a single stop strategy here. Mason looks like he is getting a little bit loose as those tires wear out. Did hear the driver say the setup was tight early on, but got really loose the longer they ran. The question is, can these guys stretch that tire to the 55 lap mark? It's 10 more laps, but watching Mason go around and the back end really kicking out on corner exit, it might get a little bit tricky for a few of them. Spencer Brown now comes to pit road. Only 7 drivers have not been to pit road yet. Mason Neal in first, Blake Mosley in second, Kevin Coleman in third, Mike Killenbeck in fourth, Brandon McLaughlin in fifth, Eddie Baker sixth, and Superman Norman Chan in seventh. And Mason Neal actually starting to lap a few cars here. Blake Mosley now to pit road. Brendan McLaughlin also comes to pit road, as here comes Will Bustler to unlap himself from Mason Neal. And Mason Neal comes to pit road. We should see Kevin Coleman, Mike Killenbeck here in the next lap or so. Coleman slows down. He's coming to pit road. Does Killenbeck stay out? Mike Killenbeck is going to stay out. Will he lead the lap? He does not get scored as the leader at the line. Killenbeck and Eddie Baker are the last two out on their original set of tires. Kind of surprised to see Eddie Baker staying out. He used up a lot of tire early in the race, making his way forward. Killenbeck is going to stay out one more time and will officially lead a lap here at Charlotte. Eddie Baker comes to pit road. That makes Mike Killenbeck the last one to pit. And as it stands right now, once he pits, Will Bussler will reassume the lead. And Killenbeck comes to pit road. Will Bussler will retake the lead. That'll put Josh Mueller in second, Tyler Robertson in third, Blake Mosley fourth, Matt Stewart will be fifth, Brian Mansfield will now be sixth, Drew Warren seventh, and Kevin Coleman in eighth. Tyler Robertson moving up into third place now. He started in 16th. Tire strategy and a fast car has got him in the top three. Blake Mosley in fourth, Matt Stewart in fifth, all still right there together. In fact, they are still within striking distance of Tyler Robertson, but the gap from Robertson to second place Mueller now 4.5 seconds. Mueller is almost 6 seconds behind leader Will Bussler. A similar situation starting to play out from what we saw at Texas last week. Tire strategy and a very fast race car has Will Bussler way out front. Mueller in second, is actually starting to pick up a little ground on Bussler. Tyler Robertson in third, trying to get past the lap car of Norman Chan. And Matt Stewart comes down underneath. Blake Mosley now up to third, Stewart to fourth, Tyler Robertson shuffled back to fifth. They're still trying to get past Superman Norman Chan though. Matt Stewart finally gets past Superman. Tyler Robertson still needs to get past. Will Bussler's lead is starting to shrink as Josh Mueller is closing the gap. It is now down to 4 3/4 seconds. At the halfway point, it is Will Bussler with the lead, Josh Mueller in second, Mosley in third, Matt Stewart fourth, and Tyler Robertson in fifth. Mansfield back in sixth, 3.5 seconds behind Tyler Robertson, but starting to close that gap. Drew Warren in seventh, Coleman in eighth, Brandon McLaughlin in ninth, and Matthew Hudson in 10th. And it looks like Bustler is right behind the 10th place car. From 11th on back is a lap down. That's including 11th place Eddie Baker. Mike Killenbeck in 12th, Zach Burgesson in 13th, Superman Norman Chan in 14th. Those drivers are a lot of the ones that stopped later than everybody else. Current leader Will Bustler stopped on lap 38. Eddie Baker stopped 10 laps later, and it looks like Eddie Baker is about to unlap himself. And he's going to bring Mike Killenbeck with him. Bustler jumps up to the high side, sees the fresher tires, lets them by easily. Brendan McLaughlin currently running in 9th place. He's 5.5 seconds ahead of these guys, but they are starting to run him down. Now it's becoming a question of which tire strategy is best here tonight. Will Bustler has come around and lapped Matthew Hudson now. But Mike Killenbeck and Eddie Baker, having unlapped themselves, they are trying to run down Brendan McLaughlin, who is now 5 seconds ahead. And it looks like Killenbeck no longer content to sit behind Eddie. He is looking for a move here. Killenbeck had a run down the front straightaway, couldn't complete it before turn 1. Lost a lot of ground. Eddie Baker now making his way forward up on the high side. Killenbeck looks underneath again. Off into turn 1. Killenbeck is a nose ahead. Can he clear him? Oh, they are still side by side. Out of turn 2, though, it looks like Mike Killenbeck almost had him cleared. Eddie Baker had some momentum on the high side. Josh Mueller has gone to pit road. Looked like Mueller, who was in second place, might have had some sort of an issue. Let's back up the replay and see what happened. It looked like Josh Mueller just pulls off the track and parks it. Mueller was running down Will Bustler. Now Will has a buffer zone. Blake Mosley now up to second, but 3.8 seconds behind. Matt Stewart, another 2.3 seconds behind. Brian Mansfield now up to fourth. Tyler Robertson in fifth. Mason Neal, one of the drivers who stayed out longer, right between him trying to get around Mansfield here. Mansfield started in 10th, up to 4th. Tyler Robertson started in 16th, up to 5th. Both having great runs here, especially on this long run. Tire strategy definitely paying dividends here tonight. Will Bustler will have 45 laps to go at the line. Blake Mosley has closed that gap down, though. 2.5 seconds now, and it is shrinking. Blake Mosley is starting to march forward. Matt Stewart in third, now 3. Caution! Not seeing any alerts, but let's see if we can figure out what exactly happened. It looks like Tyler Robertson suddenly lost a bunch of positions. Brian Mansfield all the way in the grass to make that one. It looks like Zachary Burgesson might have been involved in an incident. Doesn't look like Tyler. Looks like Tyler was okay. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I'm betting that's similar to what we saw earlier. Or was he trying to... Gets together with Mason Neal going down into turn 1. Mason gets the outside wall. Zachary Burgesson almost saves it, but when he comes back up off the apron, the car just snaps right on him. Only the second caution of the night. Almost everybody is on pit road. Brandon McLaughlin, Mike Killenbeck both staying out. Kevin Coleman, Will Bustler, Blake Mosley, Matt Stewart, Eddie Baker, Brian Mansfield, Drew Warren, Tyler Robertson, all on pit road this time by. It's been 20 laps since McLaughlin and Killenbeck have been to pit road. Brian Mansfield comes off pit road in 6th, so that'll put him back up in 4th as they come by these two lead cars. Superman Norman Chan will get a wave around. Let's see if we can get a word with the boss. Hey, Brian, it's Doug. You got me?
Yep, I got you, Doug.
Hey, it looks like you are having quite a night and quite a charge forward here tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if I got anything to win, but I feel like I got a top 5 car and just trying to conserve my tires as much as I can. At this point, I don't know if I can make it to the end on fuel. It's showing 51 laps on this tank under caution, so maybe I could conserve and see what I could do.
Well, you've definitely had quite a charge forward here tonight. I know you said you probably got a top 5 car, but if you can conserve a little fuel, these other guys can't. Do you think you can get around and hold them off and get to the win?
I don't know. Blake's fast up there, and this was a tough field tonight. You got Blake's up there, Matt, Will. I mean, it's hard to say, and this caution really stacks the field back up because now you got Tyler and Kevin and Eddie all back in the mix again.
Things are definitely going to get exciting, but you've had one of the faster cars out there tonight, man. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you, Doug.
All right, Brian Mansfield started in 10th, currently in 4th. The two that stayed out the first time pit road open have gone to pit road now. Brendan McLaughlin, Matt Hudson, and Mike Killenbeck, all three stayed out right after pit road opened. That extra lap of fuel might actually come into play before this night is over. I'd be willing to bet some of these drivers are probably cutting their engine. Let's see if Blake Mosley is. Doesn't sound like it. He's got very little RPM. I'm betting he's in fourth, coasting around here in fourth gear, trying to save every ounce of fuel. Don't forget, immediately after this race, we'll go to the Nowski Nation Retro Truck Series tonight from Pocono. Oh boy, that's going to get exciting. Probably see some strategy moves at Pocono as well, come to think of it. Pace car leads him around. He'll drop off in turn 4. Blake Mosley, Matt Stewart now have the front row. Can Matt Stewart finally get up here and lead one tonight? Pace car is in. Green flag is back in the air. They are down and away. Down through turn 1, Matt Stewart stuck up on the high side. Blake Mosley has a clean run out of turn 2. The whole field stacked back up. Anything could happen. Bustler trying to make something happen. He shoots it into 3, gets the nose underneath Mosley. And look who's right behind him, Kevin Coleman, coming back to the front. And I keep forgetting to put combos on my grocery list. Matt Stewart jumps down to the bottom. He's now up to 3rd. Tyler Robertson with him in 4th. Mosley now back to 5th. Robertson looking low. He's going for 3rd. Oh, we've got a car. I think Eddie Baker kissed the wall again. Oh, he definitely kissed it that time. Will Bustler has reassumed the lead here. Kevin Coleman to 2nd. Now Robertson in 3rd. Stewart back to 4th. Blake Mosley in 5th. Mansfield in 6th. Eddie Baker in 7th. But Eddie keeps trying to go up and have a conversation with the safer barrier. It's not going to work out very well for him. Drew Warren now in 8th. Mike Killenbeck in 9th. And Brandon McLaughlin currently in 10th. In fact, if Eddie keeps hitting the outside wall, he might need a Band-Aid from McLaughlin. Holy cow! Killenbeck goes off track. Let's see, was there any contact? I don't think there was. Killenbeck just gets loose. Killenbeck does manage to save it, keep it off the wall, only losing 1 position, I believe. Last time by, Robertson turned the fastest lap of the night. Caution is out. Spencer Brown is wrecked. Well, fuel mileage has gone out the window now. Oh, Spencer gets loose right in front of Killenbeck. Oh, nice save by Killenbeck, but Zachary Burgesson gets caught in that. That was a close one for Mike Killenbeck. He snuck through there. Zachary Burgesson did catch a piece of it. Let's try and get a closer look at that car. After that incident, he might need 911. I don't think he's too bad, actually. Did not see any damage to the front end. He might actually be okay. And this, you heard Brian Mansfield say on the last caution that the fuel mileage was really, really close. That fuel mileage may no longer be a concern. Kevin Coleman and Brian Mansfield both coming down pit road. I'm betting they are topping off. Matthew Hudson also comes down pit road. Everybody else staying out. Let's see if Bustler is trying to save fuel out here. I don't believe Bustler is in fourth gear. I think he might be in third, but doesn't appear he is trying to save very much fuel. Same with Tyler Robertson. It doesn't look like these guys are too worried about the fuel with the caution here. Will Bustler in the lead, Tyler Robertson in second, Matt Stewart now in third, Blake Mosley in fourth, Eddie Baker fifth, Drew Warren in sixth, Brandon McLaughlin in seventh, Mike Killenbeck eighth, Brian Mansfield ninth, Kevin Coleman 10th, Matthew Hudson 11th, Norman Chan back on the lead lap in 12th, Zachary Burgesson in 13th. Tyler Robertson has had quite the charge through the field here tonight. After starting in 16th, he is up in second now. Biggest mover of the race so far, as a matter of fact. Second biggest would be Drew Warren, who started in 15th and is now up into 6th. You'd never really count Drew out on these kind of tracks. Especially with these cautions, he is definitely going to have an opportunity to come forward in the next 30 plus laps. They stack back up for the restart. Lights are out on the pace car. Meant to get a look. Let's see if we can get a quick look at Eddie Baker's right side. It is a little smushed in over there. Could give him some problems early on in the run. Hopefully not too much damage, but definitely going to affect his aero. However, these XFinity cars do not have as much downforce as a Cup car. Might not have as big of an effect, but it will still have a bit, and it will affect his handling just a little bit. Pace car about to drop off. The pace car is in, getting ready for the restart. Here they come. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away. Oh, they're 3 wide mid-pack. Kevin Coleman makes a power move way up top. And look at this. Kevin is coming through this field like a bullet. Kevin Coleman did stop on lap 75. It looks like he got... Oh! He gets into the wall. No caution yet. He is still going. Several cars involved. Caution is out now. Kevin Coleman and Drew Warren get together. A big checkup behind. Mansfield saves it through the grass. Oh, what? Oh, Superman gets caught. Brandon McLaughlin got caught as well. Brandon McLaughlin might have taken the most damage of anybody in that incident. Just kept getting ping-ponged off of other cars. A lot of drivers will be coming to pit road for repairs. Brian Mansfield definitely may not actually have to. Now that I... Looks like Mansfield... No, he has got heavy right rear damage. Brandon McLaughlin definitely needs a trip to pit road. Looks like Norman Chain could use one as well. A lot of drivers... Drew Warren definitely going to need one. Get some repairs here as well. A lot of drivers on pit road again. In the midst of that, Tyler Robertson took the lead from Will Bustler, but that wasn't nearly as exciting as what was happening behind. Let's see if we can watch the replay of how Bustler took the lead. Bustler gets the nose in down into turn 1. Robertson up top, though. Doesn't lift out of turn 2. Gets the run down. Matt Stewart actually looked down to the bottom briefly. And Robertson takes the lead. The question is, does he have the tires left to hold everybody off? There'll be a couple of drivers like Matthew Hudson, Kevin Coleman, who have pitted recently and will have fresher tires. And we saw Coleman just sending it through there. Matt Stewart still lurking in third. He has been up there in the top 5 most of the night. Blake Mosley in 4th. Matthew Hudson in 5th. Some extremely fast cars up here are going to make for a great race to the finish. They'll have about 26 laps to go once they hit the green flag. It's going to be an all-out dogfight to the end. We've seen them attempt 3 wide here. I can guarantee you at some point at Pocono later, the Nowski Retro trucks, they'll probably go 4 wide, maybe even 5 wide into turn 1. Because, yes, that does happen. Should be getting 1 to green this time by. Tyler Robertson, we've talked about it, started 16th and now has the lead. But what about Matthew Hudson, who started back in 18th? I do believe he ended up starting on pit road, if I remember correctly, and is now up in 5th. So Hudson definitely in this fight tonight. Pace car leads him out of turn 2. He'll drop off out of turn 4. And hopefully I'll remember to make turn 4 jokes at Pocono tonight. Still 13 cars on the lead lap here at Charlotte. Spencer Brown still on pit road, might be done. DJ Kenner is done. Scott Hobbs, Philip York, a lot of drivers already done for the night, but 13 cars still in contention. Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air there, down and away again. Bustler on the high side. Can he get back by Robertson on the bottom? Robertson has charged through the... Oh, Robertson gets a little push in the middle of 1 and 2. Bustler has to check up, and it's just an... Oh! I think Mosley might have got into the back bumper of Bustler there, coming out of turn 2. It got a little exciting. Bustler in second, Mosley in third, Matt Stewart in fourth. Fifth place is now Mike Killenbeck. And look who it is. He will not be denied. Kevin Coleman coming back toward the front. Holy cow. Oh, look out, Kevin. Matthew Hudson gets a massive push through 1 and 2 that time. And Eddie Baker really sent it into 1 and 2 that time. Up top, trying to make something happen. Up top through 3 and 4, he comes around Killenbeck, and here comes Coleman up top. Will Bustler just ran the fastest lap of the race, trying to run down Tyler Robertson. Blake Mosley now in third with Stewart in fourth. Eddie Baker now back up into fifth. Kevin Coleman continuing to march his way forward. He's in sixth. Matthew Hudson up 11 spots. He is into seventh. Mike Killenbeck back behind in eighth. Drew Warren now in ninth. Brian Mansfield in 10th. Brian did say he knows he's got a top 5 car. He's just got to get... Holy cow! Look at the run Mansfield gets. It looked like Mansfield just clicked the nitrous button going into one. If Mansfield gets clear track, it might be hard for them to hold him off. See if he does it again in the middle of 1 and 2. Drew Warren holding the same line down across the bottom. Now Mason Neal looking up to the high side. Mansfield looking low off into 3. Can he get the nose in on Warren? He does. Oh, we've got a car getting loose as Killenbeck gets loose, cuts through the infield. He's managed to save the car, get it back up on track, but he has lost a ton of positions. Don't know how many he'll be able to get back in 21 laps. And what a run by Tyler Robertson if he can hold Will Bustler off, but Bustler's got to run down to the bottom at the start-finish line. 20 laps to go. This one is far from over. Blake Mosley and Matt Stewart still right there. Bustler looks like he moves up. They are leaning on each other out of turn 2. Mosley drops down to the bottom. It looks like Robertson going to get shuffled back a little bit here. Bustler has the lead, but it is far from decided. Blake Mosley looking for a way by. Tyler Robertson up top. They're side by side right behind him. Now they get single file for a few laps, and oh, Robertson clipped a little bit of the apron there. They start to spread out back behind, but look who's cleared some traffic and made his way up to 7th. Mansfield trying to run him down. Kevin Coleman and Matt Stewart going at it for 5th. Coleman comes by quickly. Remember, he took tires later than everybody. He and Eddie Baker. Eddie Baker now up into 3rd. Robertson has drifted back to 4th. Coleman in 5th. 17 laps to go. Do these two have enough time to get to the front? Mansfield also on fresher tires. He closes up on Matt Stewart. Mansfield down to the bottom, looking under Matt Stewart, off of turn 2. Doesn't have the momentum yet. Now he does. Kevin Coleman ducking low, looking for a run on Robertson. Mansfield can't get the nose in before they get to 3. Oh! Eddie Baker bounces off the wall. It's going to be chaos. Everybody, oh no, we've got 2 cars in the wall. And we've got a flip. Caution is out. All right, let's see if we can get a better look at what happened to Eddie Baker here. As he races Blake Mosley, gets a push. Oh, Mosley bounces off the wall. Bounces down just a little bit. It collects Eddie Baker. They keep bouncing. Everybody else goes to the grass. And Mosley, oh, Drew Warren catches a piece of it. Mosley ends up going for a tumble. Matthew Hudson also gets caught in that. That's a heartbreaker. He had been charging forward since he took to the track. Will Bustler in the lead. Tyler Robertson second. Kevin Coleman third. Mansfield in fourth. Matt Stewart in fifth. And it looks like we've got Will Bustler, Tyler Robertson, and Eddie Baker, Drew Warren all coming to pit road. Eddie Baker will need repairs, but Kevin Coleman and Brian Mansfield stay out, as does Mason Neal and Brandon McLaughlin. See if we can get a word with the fourth place car. Hey, Brandon, it's Doug. You got me?
Yeah.
Hey, looks like it's getting a little bit exciting out there. I think some of your fellow drivers might need some Band-Aids.
Right. Glad I brought some.
Yeah, definitely. So you're in fourth right now. Some of the guys behind you might still have a set of tires. Are you worried, and can you get to the front?
I'm going to try. I was riding the high line pretty well there the last
8 laps or so. I'm going to try that and see what happens.
Well, you've definitely had quite a run tonight after starting in 14th all the way up into 4th. Hopefully you can get all the way to the front tonight.
I hope, man.
All right, good luck, buddy.
Thanks.
Willing to Bet McLaughlin is selling a lot of Band-Aids after the race tonight. Kevin Coleman up front, Mansfield in second, Mason Neal third, Brandon McLaughlin fourth, and Drew Warren in fifth. Will Bustler, Tyler Robertson, Matt Stewart, Mike Killenbeck, and Norman Chan now in the top 10. Matthew Hudson has had that car repaired. He is in 11th. Look for him to come back toward the front after the runs he has had here tonight. Blake Mosley and Zachary Burgess are now coming to pit road a little bit later. Might be trying to take advantage of having the freshest tires at the last possible moment. Looks like they'll get the one to go next time by with Kevin Coleman and Brian Mansfield on the front row. But some of these drivers back behind will have 16-lap fresher tires, and it's going to be about 10 to go when the green flag drops, so things will get exciting. I think the oldest tires out there are on the 75 of Mason Neal, or the 49 of Mason Neal, excuse me. He last stopped on lap 75. Numbers are hard. Down the back straightaway they go. Pace car will drop off out of 4. This could be the final restart. Although something tells me these guys are definitely going to be going at it, especially the guys back behind that do have fresher tires. They're going to be trying to get to the front. These guys on slightly older tires are going to be trying to keep them back there. Pace car is in. Coming through the quad oval. Green flag is in the air there. Down and away again. Coleman gets a good jump into turn 1. He's got a decent lead over Mansfield and Neal. It's getting really sketchy. Drew Warren goes off track. He manages to save it. Tyler Robertson loses it. He's going to save it. No caution. They clear the racing surface. But Robertson's race just ended. Meanwhile, Brian Mansfield closes right back up to Kevin Coleman. Mansfield looks to the low side. Mason Neal now in 3rd. Brandon McLaughlin in 4th. Here comes Will Bustler in 5th. Oh, Bustler all the way down to the apron. Matt Stewart in 6th. Here comes Superman. Norman, they're wrecking off at turn 2 again. Norman Chan ends up flipping. Caution is out. Let's back that up because it looked like this might have started when Will Bustler entered turn one and just gets a little bit of the apron. Will Bustler looked like he had a run on Mason Neal, nowhere to go, gets down on the apron, but when he comes back up, it loosens him up. He comes down, gets into Superman, and they both end up, and even I think that wasn't Mason Neal. I think that was Spencer Brown caught a piece of it. Mansfield did manage to complete the pass, and he is in the lead. We'll see several cars on pit road for repairs. Will Bustler definitely going to be on pit road. Superman, Norman Channel will come to pit road. I am sure Tyler Robertson needs to come to pit road after his incident on the restart. Eddie Baker also coming to pit road. Did not see him involved, but I don't think he has an extra set of tires hanging out there. You never know. So Brian Mansfield has the lead for the first time tonight, but can he hold them off? This could get very interesting. Remember, fourth place Mason Neal still on old tires. Mike Hillenbeck also back in the top 5. Blake Mosley now back in 6th. Matt Stewart to 7th. Drew Warren in 8th. Drew has had some epic saves tonight. Let's see if we can ask him about it. Hey, Drew, it's Doug. You got me?
I do, Doug. How's it going?
Hey, really good, but I have to ask, did you do some drifting practice before the race tonight?
I got to pull out the little dirt tracking every once in a while,
Hey, you've had to pull it out a few times tonight.
Yeah, I've got tangled up in some other people's messes there a couple times, but saved that one. Still running the top 10, so it's all good.
Are you going to be able to move forward? I know you've had some charges towards the front early in the runs. Can you get another charge up to the front?
Nah, probably not. I would better on the long runs all night, so with only, we're probably, 3 laps to go when we go green here, so I'll try to hold this position, see if I can pick off 1 or 2, but yeah, it's all good.
All right, man. Well, good luck. You've had a great run so far, buddy.
Great. Thanks, Doug.
Drew Warren started in 15th, up to 7th, right behind him. Matthew Hudson has had zero luck here tonight. I mean, he's been caught in everything. I think he's been caught in some incidents that haven't happened yet at Pocono later tonight in a truck. But he has managed to, Matthew Hudson, who started in 18th, is now in 9th. So, great job, great comeback, great recovery for that driver. Should be getting 1 to green here. We are getting 1 to green. Brian Mansfield and Kevin Coleman will have the front row. Brandon McLaughlin and Mason Neal on the second row. Remember, Mason on older tires, and it looks like he's got some damage on the back end. As Jason Rome would tell you, old tires on the restarts get a little tricky. Mike Killenbeck, Blake Mosley on the third row, Matt Stewart, Drew Warren on the fourth row, and Zachary Burgesson, Matthew Hudson round out the top 10. have 14 cars still on the lead lap. All 14 of them still in contention here. Points leader Will Bustler back in 11th for this restart. Second place in points, Mason Neal in 4th. Might have a chance to close some of that 34-point gap here. Pace car is in. It'll be 4 to go at the line. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away. Off into turn 1 and nobody giving an inch. Look at this run by Mansfield and Coleman side by side. A drag race down the back straightaway. No clear advantage to either driver, and they're pulling away. Here comes Mosley to the bottom. He's going to come under Mason Neal. And Mike Killenbeck is looking low. Brendan McLaughlin's there. Drew Warren, Matt Stewart, all of them trying to march toward the front. Points leader Bustler, still in 11th, has not been able to advance. Mansfield Mansfield caught the apron, bobbled up. Didn't lift. Now Blake Mosley's looking under Mansfield. Now it's 3 wide, right behind him. Into turn 3. Killenbeck backs out. Blake Mosley goes to the high side. They're trying to get 4 wide back here as Bustler tries to make his way through. Bustler now up to 7th. Mason Neal blinked briefly, and I'm sure that was an uncomfortable situation for Will Bustler. Blake Mosley has snuck by into the lead. Where Mosley is sending it. He's got a big lead on Coleman now. White flag is in the air for Blake Mosley. Coleman in 2nd. Mansfield in 3rd. Who is it going to be? I don't think they can catch Mosley at this point. It is a race for 2nd. And look at this battle back behind. Drew Warren, Tyler Robertson, Will Bustler, Matt Stewart in the mix, and Superman Norman Chan looking for anything he can get. But out of turn 4, Blake Mosley is going to come down and take the checkers. Kevin Coleman will come home in 2nd. Mansfield 3rd. Killenbeck in 4th. Bustler comes home 5th. Tyler Robertson 6th. Drew Warren 7th. Matt Stewart 8th. Superman Norman Chan in 9th. And Matthew Hudson in 10th. All right, let's see if we can interview our top 3 really quickly, starting with Brian Mansfield. Hey, Brian, this is Doug. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Doug.
How many laps after that restart were you holding your breath?
Everyone. I was actually hoping it was all going to go green after I changed tires on that one pit stop. I was, way faster than those guys, but thought I was going to be able to hold them off. But Blake snuck up there and picked up the win. But I'm happy with the top 3.
It definitely was an epic battle between you and Kevin Coleman there at the end, and looked like you two were just going to battle it out until Blake snuck by you.
Yeah, that's what kind of intended to do, and Blake came up, ruined the party on us, but good clean racing up front with Kevin, and had a ball doing that, and congratulations to Blake.
All right, man. Well, great run tonight, buddy.
Thank you, Doug.
All right, let's see if we can get Kevin Coleman in here. Actually, I do not see Kevin Coleman available, so let's talk to our winner. Hey, Blake, this is Doug. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. You come from absolutely nowhere, and while those two were battling out, just come flying by and went away.
Yeah, well, I was hoping it would stay green that first run. I kind of was on a strategy to where it was going to work out in the end, and caution kind of come out there around lap, I think it was 60-ish, 65 somewhere, and that kind of threw everything away, and we all kind of evened back out, and then everybody still had a set of tires left, and I tried saving them as long as I could, and I lost the nose there out of 4, and I took out Eddie, and I've already apologized to him. I did not mean to do that, but at that point, my fast repair didn't click on, so I had to go to the back. I really thought the race was over with, and somehow, some way, I think everybody with new tires got caught up in Will's mess.
Well, it definitely was an exciting run to the finish, but man, once you got around, you were just gone. Nobody could touch you. In fact, coming to go, when you checked out, you were pulling away at extreme distances. You gained like a second and a half in 2 laps.
Yeah, and most of that goes back to the tires thing. I saved mine to the last minute. I think Brian, Kevin, and I think Killenbeck still had new tires, but they took theirs on like lap 90, just banking on it going green, and we had talked about that in the Discord about you could take a risk if you wanted to, but it didn't outweigh the reward there at that time, so I kind of held on to them till 10 to go, and new tires here is key. It's almost like Atlanta driving around here.
Yeah, it really is. Well, congratulations, man. That was one heck of an epic win, buddy.
Yep, thank you.
All right, congratulations to Blake Mosley, Kevin Coleman, and Brian Mansfield, the top 3 from Charlotte. Stick around, don't go anywhere. We will be back in just a moment with the Nowski Retro Trucks from Pocono.